that odious stench? Smells like...
Hey there, you're watching Hymns in My Wake. I'm Jacob, and today we're going to talk about a handful of records that I picked up from Nuclear War Now. I've been shopping there quite a bit lately, put in a few orders between, past early November to now. Most of the stuff came from their sale that they had, end of year sale, Black Friday sale, whatever you want to call it, whatever it was. Had some super good deals. I think it was pretty much like 30% off most everything in the store. In the background we're listening to one of the CDs I picked up from them. It's Salt Lake City's own Grave Code Nebula, Sempiternal Void, Blackened Doom. Super fucking heavy. These guys aren't around anymore. They split up. I believe, I didn't look into it, but I believe they've gone on to other projects. I couldn't tell you what projects, but in the distant future there will be another video. I'll probably talk about this a little more and probably mention some of those projects if they exist. Just going to do a spotlight on just kind of the local or bands from Salt Lake, bands from Utah, whatever. But anyways, before we get into the Nuclear War Now stuff, I did want to talk about this. Some of you may have noticed that there was a glaring omission on my end of year list. Totally by accident. Totally forgot to show this. And that is, this would have been in my top whatever, the top tier of albums from 2020. That album is Moment by Dark Tranquility. This is a special edition that the band kind of self-released. They actually went in the pressing plant and did, I assume, all if not most of the work, most if not all of the work to put this together. I know they did the physical pressing of the vinyl. Nice Neil Peart quote there. Love the artwork. Done by Nicholas Sundin. He's no longer in the band, but he still is like a part of it. If you know, he does all the artwork for him still. Still heavily involved that way. I think he just wanted to get out of the touring / band lifestyle and focus more on just being a artist, not a musical artist, but just his drawing and whatever. But yeah, this is pretty cool. The first disc with this nice red with that slight orange splatter on there, and the second blue with the white on there. Break out the innards on this. Pretty cool stuff there. I think most of it's exclusive to this version. Yeah, this really was a fantastic release last year. Of course, I'm a fanboy, but so everything they do is gonna be great in my opinion, and unless they take a drastic step in another direction and, you know, go the In Flames route and completely sell out. But yeah, this one is, I would describe it as maybe like a mixture between, you know, Haven, Projector, and probably Atoma. Somewhere you throw all those three albums in a blender, something like this is probably what you would get. So the energy of this, I'm sure you'll see the damage. The original package I got here, I'll show you the package real quick that I got in the mail for those that haven't seen it. Completely jacked up. Had to keep that to try and do a claim on it with the post office. I still have the other jacket. The band, I actually reached out to the band and the label, and I ended up getting a new sleeve. They even included the same. They asked for the number that I had and put the same number on it, so no funny business or anything. They just had a few extra held in case of emergency. But yeah, so that's why you'll see, you know, the bins on this stuff. They weren't able to replace it all. They just did the sleeve, which I'm super grateful for. It's not their fault that the postal system sucks ass right now. Came over on ship, and when I got it, the shit was still was damp inside. Yeah, pretty. I was pretty upset that day, to say the least. Here's a little Polaroid of them, you know, pressing the album. Every one of these comes with a different Polaroid, signed by the two guys there. And then this bigger poster, just the art. But yeah, just a great Dark Tranquility album. And I would say if you're gonna pick up this album, make sure to get a version that has the two bonus tracks, Empire's Lost to Time and In Truth Divided. Both of those are really good songs. I don't know why they just didn't throw them on the album. So there's only just the standard, like, jewel case, I think, and maybe some of the other pressings that maybe didn't get a double disc treatment, didn't get those bonus tracks. But yeah, super good album. Melodic death metal, for those of you in case anybody's never heard of Dark Tranquility, one of the founders of the Gothenburg scene. But yeah, so I'm not going to show all the stuff that I got from Nuclear War now today. I'm just going to show a handful. Kind of thought these would be cool to show, seeing as the new Harakiri for the Sky album just came out on Friday. And so I'm going to kind of focus on 4 albums that are or 3 albums are associated with them, and then the 4th one was just put out on the same label as their stuff is, so I threw it in there. These were all imported into the U.S. by Nuclear War Now. They got them from Art of Propaganda. We'll start with the one that has the least amount of connection to the Harakiri, and that is Anomaly, Visions. It's essentially a solo project goes by the name Marok. He has a session bassist and a session drummer, but I think he writes everything. The way it's associated with Harakiri is the session bassist, and at least I think there's 2 live, but one of the live members is one of the main members of. So, anyways, the session bassist is a live bassist for Harakiri, and the live guitarist on this, or that went and played this on tour or whatever, is MS from Harakiri. So yeah, post-black metal. Those of you familiar, you could recognize that Austrian sound. They have a very specific sound that a lot of those bands have over there. Very similar to, Harakiri. This one has, it's very melodic, like much of that stuff is, and it's got a lot of almost dark neo-folk sprinkled in. Kind of similar to like a Aquilus, just on a much smaller scale than Aquilus. This was the 2017 release. I think it's just on black. Is this something that everybody should be rushing out and buying? No, I'd say if you're a fan of post-black, it's worth checking out, and if you're more specifically a fan of the Austrian scene, it's definitely worth picking up. It's solid, a very, very good album in that regard, but the genre is just so kind of oversaturated with bands. You got to pick and choose, really. So that's Anomaly Vision. Anomaly album is called Visions. That came out in 2017, if I didn't mention that. Then next, we will go with JJ's original. I don't know if it's original, but it was before Harakiri. He started his solo project, Karg. This, I can't remember where this falls in their discography. I think that Anomaly is like their 3rd or 4th album. This one, I think between 4th and 6th in the Karg discography. This is Weltanash. So it said is JJ from Harakiri for the Sky. This one's a little more. It's very similar to the other 2 that I mentioned. It just has a bit more of an ambient feel. What else do I say about Karg? They got the same vocals. It's the same JJ's the vocalist for Harakiri, so it's got that same kind of almost hardcore vocal style. What else? Out of what I've listened to, I haven't listened to the entire Karg discography. I've just kind of listened to whatever I've been able to get my hands on. This is one of my favorites out of the 3 or 4 that I own. It's definitely, and the one thing I will say is, especially in the Karg releases, JJ has a tendency to take the albums and I think has a problem editing them down to a more digestible length. Oftentimes they're very bloated and kind of run a little bit too long. Most of them are over an hour. Almost everything he's done is over an hour. So, especially with something like Karg, where it can get very samey everything kind of runs together. Not to say that it's not good. It's all still very good. It's just very samey. And so, 80 minutes of that can be a little taxing. But, a little bit here and there. I have all this songs saved on Spotify, and whenever one pops in on my as I'm working and plays, I always enjoy it. But just listening to the whole thing in one sitting can be a little much. And one of the times he did kind of edit himself down and not go on too long is on this. If I didn't mention, that was the 2016 album from Clark, Welton-esque. And then another one of his solo ventures was Seagrave. He only put out one album with it so far under this project. This one came out in 2014, and this one sees him take that kind of Austrian post-black sound in a different direction. He kind of goes in tries to incorporate a little more hardcore. There's always been that little bit of hardcore just due to his vocal styles kind of tied into the music, but this one he tries to incorporate it a little bit more into the music. In my opinion, it works pretty well. Some people aren't real big on this album. It has very mixed reviews. I think it's great. Of course, I'm rarely disappointed by post-black metal. So, what else to say about this one? And this one he goes by a different alias, J Trainwreck. That was interesting. I think he was kind of going for that more, punk feel with the name, that more punk hardcore feel. Yeah, I recommend this one for fans of the genre. And then let's see. And then we have a Swedish band, Glossin. This is Yearwalker. Glossin is a really sludgy, atmospheric doom mixed with post-metal act. Super, super fucking slow and heavy. Really just fucking pummels you, this album. This was their first EP that came out in 2014. Yeah. Again, released. This one was co-released through Art of Propaganda and Catatonic State. I'd recommend it maybe if you like stuff like Primitive Man. Almost kind of has some of the same vibes as that does, just with a little more maybe like post-metal mixed into that, and a little more atmosphere into that blackened sludginess. So yeah, that's Glossin, Yearwalker. And then we'll wrap things up with a album, the first album that I had in these more recent Nuclear War Now ventures. This was the one that brought me there, and this one was a Nordvis release. It's Dropsnat Skelet. Swedish two-piece project. They're now defunct. This one was released on vinyl in 2020. It originally came out in 2012. this is probably, well, not probably, this is the best album, in my opinion, that I'm showing you today. So if you're going to go check anything out, if you're only checking one thing out that I show you, make it this. This album is fucking brilliant. Melodic black metal, Swedish, if I didn't mention that. Very second wave influenced. There's a lot of atmosphere elements. The fucking vocals on this are next level. This shit's haunting yet almost bright at moments, yet still haunting. What else would you say about this? Inserts just got the same art and the lyrics, all in Swedish, I assume. But yeah, Dropsnat, I don't know how to pronounce it. Skelet, amazing black metal, melodic, as I said. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's all I've got to show you guys today. Hopefully I'll be back with another video real soon. Until then, you guys take care of yourselves.